Hi folks, Mark Jackal here. I'm going to be doing a review today of the Blackstar HT-5 combo amp, all valve. It's push-pull design, which means basically it works great at any volume. This video, if any of you people know Scott Grove, which if you're watching my video you probably know me from the song I did about him. This video is going to be much in the style of one of his that I'm going to ramble on for probably quite a long time and go quite in depth and try to show you all of the features so that you really get a sense of what the amp can do. Right, so the valves, it's got one ECC 83. If you're wondering why I'm looking down, I have got a little cheat sheet so I don't forget to mention things and get my specifics right. So it's got one ECC 83, which I believe is a 12AX7, and one 12BH7, which is, I don't know, a bit more unusual, but whatever sounds good at low wattage. It comes with a foot switch, just a simple one button foot switch for switching channels. That's all you need because there's no built-in reverb with this amp, so you're not going to be able to turn that on and off via a foot switch. So just a channel to select between your clean and your overdrive channels. I have got a number of foot pedals here which I'll be using throughout the video to just give you an idea of different features available. I have a compression sustainer pedal, which is a Joyo one. Chinese copies that are available on eBay for really dirt cheap, but they do the job, especially for at home practicing and stuff like that. They work perfect. So a Joyo Dyna compressor, which has sustain and compression. A Digitech Bad Monkey Tube Overdrive pedal, which is again Digitech, so it's not the most expensive, it's not a boutique pedal, it doesn't cost a fortune. I think new they are £40, $60, something like that, and you still get a great sound. I like it, suits my style and tonal needs. I also have a 3 Behringer pedals now, a vintage tube monster vacuum tube overdrive, which is the VT999 model, which has a 12AX7 tube in it to give you real tube overdrive sound. I swapped the tube out for a 12AU7 because it just makes it a bit crisper and a bit smoother, which means dull in Scott Grove terms. But I like it, and the great thing about this particular overdrive pedal is it comes, I probably can't show you it because it's all plugged in, I'll put some pictures up as well. It comes with a noise gate with adjustable threshold, which means you can shut off all that hissy, buzzy noise that you get when you're in overdrive until you start playing your strings, and it's just a great feature on a great pedal, which is all metal chassis and has a true bypass and independent treble, mid, bass, gain and a master control. Then onto the digital effects section, I have a Behringer digital delay DD400, which is just great, and the Behringer digital reverb DR600. Both of these pedals have 2 outs. The digital delay has out A, which is your wet signal, and a direct out, which isn't. and the digital reverb actually has two ins, in A and in B, and out A and out B, so a stereo effect if you so wish. I've just got the one cable coming in and out into the effects loop in the back of the amp, which again, with your bigger Fender amps, or your Blues Juniors, Deluxe Reverbs type amps, you don't get a effects loop, which I miss. I like having the delay and a reverb through an effects loop just for better clarity. I don't know the ins and outs particularly. I don't claim to be an expert on these things. I'm just telling you what I know and how I use them, so you can make your own minds up. So that's the pedals. We're going straight into the amp. The amp has this particular amp. This is a 2008 model, which was before they changed them. They did a redesign and put their own design speakers in, but this one has a 10-inch Celestion speaker, so 10-inch, tighter bass, punchier for a small wattage amp, like 5 watt all valve amp. It's much punchier and tighter in the bass, and you get a crisper sound rather than a bigger speaker. Gets a bit floppier, you know. Scott Grove's talked about all this. It's where I learn these things. If you don't know who he is, check out Groovy DJs on YouTube, and he's got tons of videos, great reviews, and just teaches you a lot about guitars. So the amp has 2, 4, 6, 7 adjustable parameters. You've got a clean, volume, you have the drive channel, gain and volume, then you have bass, mid, treble, and the infinite shaping feature, which means you can switch from a Fender style overdrive, which is twangier and more clarity, all the way over to more of a Marshall British overdrive at the other end of the scale, and you can go anywhere in between. Set in the middle, you'll have half Fender, half Marshall style overdrives. I'm not saying these sound like a Fender or sound like a Marshall, but that's what they are based on, and that's what the company says. So okay, so I'm going to show you with 2 guitars today. This is my 1996 Epiphone Les Paul Standard, heavily modified. This was originally your polyurethane sunburst, looks like a boiled sweet, you know, dipped in glass, really shiny polyurethane, which is a durable, tough finish and really protects your guitars, but I didn't like the look of it for my main guitar, so I got the old Black & Decker mouse sander out and I sanded it down, and I discovered this yellow undercoat underneath and decided I'll stay with that colour. I'm a big fan of Peter Green of the early Fleetwood Mac, 1968 to 1970 Fleetwood Mac, and Gary Moore. So this kind of resembles the colour of the Greenie 59 Les Paul. I also added a pickup to the middle, which isn't currently working because, as you may be able to see here, I had 5 holes that I drilled into my guitar, and I had out of phase coil splitting. I think that's correct, Scott. Not tapping. You cannot tap a humbucker, you can only tap a single coil. So this is coil splitting, which I removed all those switches because it was just getting too complicated, and at the same time I removed the option to turn this pickup on and off. So at the moment we're just the two humbuckers, regular Les Paul style, except in the middle position it is out of phase. These pickups are not the stock. I replaced them with Tone Rider AC4 Anico 4 pickups, Tone Rider's version of the Paths. If you don't know Tone Rider pickups, check them out on YouTube and their website, because they are really cheap compared to your Seymour Duncans and your Gibson 57 Classics and all those funky pickup makers. And I think they sound great. You may not. You may think they sound like crap. Who knows? So that's been picked up to there. Anyway, this guitar is called Lillian, by the way. I had a custom brass truss rod cover made with Lillian written on it because that's the name of my grandma. So this is my tribute to my grandma. I also sanded down the neck and left the bee sting paint, I think what they call it, the bee sting, and sanded the neck down to bare wood, and then put some true oil, gunstock oil, over the neck, so you get a nice natural feel. It's much thinner and much smoother and easier to play. And then I also sanded the back down, for some reason, back down to bare wood, and put a bit of true oil on that. I sanded out the cutaway here to give you slightly better access to the upper frets for when you're doing your Gary Moore style 22nd fret full step bends. It was a bit hard to get to, so I sanded that out. I also sanded a you can't really see it on this video, but a bit more of a indent into that cutaway, so it fits your fat belly better and just isn't sharp. You know how a Telecaster is just a square block, and when it sits against you it's really unnatural. Well, it's similar with the Les Paul. They have a curved edge, but it's a flat back, so I just cut that a bit so it just sits under your boobie much better. So we're gonna go clean to start with. The volume on the amp on the clean channel is set around 2 at the moment. We are miking up with a SM57 into my USB desk, so you'll be able to get a bit better idea of the sound rather than me just using this microphone and it distorting and you're not being able to hear. So we'll just 10 on the tone, 10 on the volume, just so you can hear what it sounds like, and I'll just play some clean chords to start with. Let's go to the neck pickup. I must say, no, I'm not the greatest player in the world. I don't claim to be. That's the disclaimer. I am not a great guitarist. I play for fun. I play because I like to play, and I like what I play. If you don't like my playing, that's fine, but I'm not here to win a popularity contest. I just want to show you the amp. Okay? If you want to critique my playing, go to one of my songs and tell me how crap it is there. Okay? So some bar chords. going to introduce some reverb now, just because everything sounds better with reverb. I don't care who you are, everything sounds better with reverb. So already, just on a basic clean, you can hear the nice tubiness, is the technical term we use. It just, as a clean amp, it just sounds great. Lovely bit of pre-tube distortion, not distortion, but you know what I mean. You get that bit of tang from tubes that you don't get from solid state. That's my phone ringing, but it's the call centre trying to sell me something, so I'll ignore that. Middle position now. This is obviously out of phase, so it's not going to apply to a lot of you, but and to the bridge pickup. Just sounds great. As I said, this is on 2 on the volume, and that's loud bedroom level. Good enough for in the house. I have taken this down to a band practice room, and it's stood up against a full band. It started to struggle with some louder songs. I had to really crank the volume, which is going to wear out your tubes faster, but you're not going to damage your amp by turning it up to 8. You know, the old amps used to run them at 10, the old Marshalls, 10, get that full distortion going. You're just going to wear your tubes out faster. This has had new tubes very recently, so I'm not in danger of that. So let's go back to the neck pickup and put some delay on. Recording the moment there, just sounded so great. So, I'm also going to show you this amp with another guitar. It's going to get now. Just going to unplug this. I'll show you the other guitar, which is this Strat copy, made by Tanglewood in the early 90s in Korea. It's Tanglewood Katana, which I emailed the company about to tell me a bit more about it, because I couldn't really find anything about them online. And basically they said, we don't know where that's come from. It must be a prototype. So it means it's a bit rarer. Your normal Strat configuration, 3 pickups, 5-way selector switch in the normal positions. The only thing I changed is the second tone control, your middle tone control. I changed it to middle, and so it can also control your bridge pickup, because I really think that's necessary with a Stratocaster. So let's plug back in here. I just unplugged us so we didn't get that nice blow up sound. Right, again, guitar on 10, tones on 10, starting in the neck pickup. Turn the delay off for you. Move to position 2 or position 4, whichever way around you number them. I say number 1 is the neck, number 2 neck and middle, but completely up to you which way you call them. Okay, middle, number 4 or 2, whichever way you call it. And the bridge. Let's add that delay back in there. I have all the tone controls on the amp set bang in the middle. The bass, the middle and the treble are all in the middle, just to give you an idea. Obviously you dial in better settings to whatever sound you wanted, but just a demonstration. So you get, again, that nice tube sound. There you go. So that's clean with a Les Paul type guitar, and clean with a Strat. Oh, let me just run through the pedals through the clean channel just so you can hear what they sound like. So we'll go back just to 10. So I'll put the compression sustainer on. This amp takes pedals really well. Here's the Bad Monkey Overdrive. And the Behringer, which is a lot quieter. Okay, so now we're going to switch back to the Les Paul and start on the Overdrive channel. Oh, that was my guitar on the ceiling. Only cost me $50, so I'm not too careful with it actually. Should always respect your guitars, but some more than others when they cost that little. So yeah, we'll go back in. Right, I'm now going to switch to the drive channel. And we are set. The gain is currently on 0, so if I bring us up to just after half, we're already cooking. So we'll go to 222. We'll go to 2. Guitars on 10, tones are on 10. Sounds great to me. If you don't like it, then that's obviously down to you. Right, so let's now go up to, let's call it 5. I must say a lot of that hiss is one, due to this house is a very buzzy house, old electrics. The USB desk is feeding computer buzz back through, and tube amps buzz as well on top of that. Turn the noise gate on the Behringer pedal. Kills all that hiss until you start playing again. So we're now at 5 on the gain setting. I'll turn this pedal off just because it is colouring the sound, and we'll hear what it sounds like on 5. Firstly, in the neck pickup. The infinite shaping feature ISF is in the Marshall position at the moment. Now we're in 5 on the gain, sort of, you know, midway. I'm gonna mess around with that feature just to so you get an idea of what that does. The drive channel volume is the same as we had the clean channel. It's on 2, so you've still got another 8 to go, and it's rattling the floorboards as it is. So these amps do get pretty loud, even though it's only 5 watt. They're still really, really loud. Good enough for any small gig, and even at a larger gig, if you're using a PA system, which in most cases you are going to in a larger venue, then you're going to mic up your amp anyway and have it coming through the PA, so there's no point having a 100 watt Marshall stack because you're going to be mic'd up anyway, so you might as well carry this little beauty round and save yourself some chiropractor bills. Turn that off. Right, so in the Marshall end of the infinite shaping feature, you've been hearing okay, so we'll switch it all the way across to the Fender end, which already you get a different kind of hiss and hum. So here it is. So that was the Fender end. Now, obviously, as it's your typical amp control knob, you can set it in the middle and have half a Fender and half a Marshall, like you've got a Marshall and a Fender at the side of the stage mic'd up at the same time. Back. Back to Fender. It's a much grungier distortion if you like that kind of tone, which I don't particularly, but all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I played it backwards. What of it? So let's go up now to 7.5. To hell with it. We'll go to 10 on the gain, and we're going to buzz like hell now, because the more gain you have, the more buzz you have, unless you got one of these noise gates. Good old Uncle Ted. So we'll go back to the Marshall side and show you that. So, you get the idea with that one. We're on the Marshall side. It's great for heavy rock. I wouldn't say this was a real distortion. It's a heavy rock. Really heavy rock. You know, you're type of stuff. Throw in your other pedals. You can drive it further, of course. So I'll just roll some tone off, put the compression sustainer on and the noise gate. Then the noise gate is killing that. So and that's at 2 on the volume, and you get in infinite sustain, feedback, whatever you want to call it. So I can't complain. I'll show you now the Stratstar guitar on the various ends of the gain spectrum, just so you don't complain that I didn't. I'm also conscious that this video is already 40 minutes long, and anybody who hasn't switched off and is still watching, yeah right, maybe getting bored by now, so I'll try and hurry this up. Okie dokie. Yeah. So we're on clean. Just a touch, so we're only just done. I know I'm not Stevie Ray Vaughan. and I really can't play in his style because he was a demon. Any Status Quo fans out there? That's wrong. I suck, I know. But what are you gonna do? Keep practicing, just don't get any better. Strap keeps falling off. Yeah, I know it was played on an SG, but I'm just giving you an idea. Let's go back up to that really hissy number 10. Let's try that again. Go to the Fender end since we're shut up. That's just bad, but that's what I have to deal with in this house. So again, we're now on the Fender end, and it really does sound different. A lot more top end, glacier. If I had the bad monkey in that way, make it a bit nicer to my ears, but whatever your tastes are. So you get the idea with that. I don't know what else to say about it. You've heard all the sounds. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. Don't think I did. You've heard it from clean I'm clean. Like I said, the EQ settings are not anywhere near where they should be for each of the particular guitars, but I put them in the middle so you could hear what they sound like. Okay, if there's anything else you need to know, ask me and I'll try to answer you. I'll just Google it. That's what Google's for. Be asking me things. So, I've been Mark Jackal. Hope you've enjoyed this. My first attempt at a full review in the style of Mr. Scott Groves of GroovyMusicGuitars.com. Lessons, motherfuckers. Thanks. See you next time, hopefully. Duh. Turn it off.